Welcome back, awesome Actually fans and subscribers. I have here Fortnite figure, 118 scale in the 3.75 4-inch range. This is Ruckus. I've been after him for a while because I think it looks really good. It's got a real nice sort of post-apocalyptic Mad Max feel to him. Looks really nice. On the back, it just shows DJ Yonder, who I've got and I've reviewed. I'll stick him up there, I think, for you to look at. Long Shot, who I've reviewed, and I'll stick him up there as well somewhere. Frostbite, Peely, Verge, and Tirage Trooper. They're just on the back there. He looks really nice. Let's open him up and have a look. Oh, I've got a really sort of strong new plastic smell. Okay, so comes with a building piece, just a metal square. It's fine, no problem. Comes with this harvester tool, which is really quite nice. It actually does suit him a lot. Sort of a mismatched together sort of axe stroke knife attached to some wood or a handle or piping or something. That's quite cool. Compared to him, it's that is waist height and it's quite long. The blade, though, you can see in his compared to his body there. Before I look at him, let's look at the collector's sort of tick sheet. So anything on here that's I'm going to be getting me to have a look at. So there's a couple of bits in here I'm quite interested in. There's another drift without any sort of headgear. Looks quite cool. What else? And most of the other stuff I have already or will be picking up in the future. This is the drift here I'm talking about. Looks pretty cool. Then we have some guns on the back. We have a smoke grenade. Oh, that's new. They look okay. And their harvesting tools are pretty cool. And their backpacks and other stuff. Pretty cool too. But I'll see what I get as I collect stuff later on. Okay, so let's have a look at him here. So looks wise, he looks really good. He's got this really nice sort of Mad Max sculpt going on in his head. There are some looks like casting lines in his hair, which maybe you can see in the camera, not sure. But you know, you can file those off or cut those off, so that's okay. His mask is pretty cool. There is a little circle inside the circle. There's a little yellow circle inside the yellow circle in his eyes, which look like pupils, but you probably won't pick that on camera. Or maybe you can, not sure. That's pretty cool. So you paint that, that'll come out, they will pop out a lot more, look really nice. Nice sort of spiky shoulder pads, which are attached to his actual shoulder, not these close. It will go over the shoulder part when his arms go up. So even though it will impede articulation a little bit, it's not going to be too bad, hopefully. And he's got these sort of I don't know, this tube coming out his back, going to his front, and the same on the other side. This grenade or grenade part here, that should come off, but I'll look at that in a little while. And the one around his trousers is glued. Okay, let's have a look at articulation. First things first, I'll put him slightly closer to the camera so you get a look. He is nice looking. Paintwork's okay, but needs to be inked and shaded, and I'll repaint a few of the bits anyway. Let's have a look at articulation. So he has a left and a right. He gets a 0 down because of sculpt and 0 up, but he does have the neck joint for it. You can see under there. Very small motion. Okay, shoulders normally quite stiff in these figures. Let's have a look. Now that is impeding now with his clothes. So disappointing, not even flat on the shoulders. I would be tempted to cut these shoulder parts off or modify them, stick them back on. Bicep bend, I'm not expecting much on these because normally they're not great. Let's have a look. He doesn't quite get the 90 degrees. He has waist, trunk, sorry, which is great, and he's doesn't impede his movement having these pipes. He goes forwards, backwards, side to side. He has waist turn as well. Great. Hips normally are great on these, and his sculptor getting away, but still not bad on the outwards. Forwards is not great because of the belt getting in the way. Backwards goes to the side. Thigh twist on both legs. Double kneecap. But having such bulky legs, he only gets just around about 90 degrees. Yep. Feet turn. They go. Oops. Hello. They should. There we go. Go down, so he gets a little bit of a tippy toes going on there. And the other direction will be pretty bad because the sculpt on his shin, spiky shin pads part gets in the way, so you can't actually get a Michael Jackson going on. A little one. Articulation is not great, which is disappointing, but he's such a good looking figure. So what I would be tempted to do, as I said, is cut some of these parts off his shoulder here. In fact, I might be able to. Have a quick look. Let's pop his head off. We'll try to. Okay, so his hair is glued on. I'll try and take his head off. I've just ripped his hair off. So that's come off, but that's good to know that you can take it off. I can glue that back on, tidy that up. Okay, so let me try again, take his head off. Hopefully nothing else will come off this time. In fact, now you can see how far up he can look without that impeding him. Okay, so that is off. And here I'm trying to take off this little sort of, like a grenade belt. Okay. Okay, that is off there. Collar can't come off. But still, this arm doesn't want to go any higher. You would have to cut some of that off here, which I don't want to do now, so I've got nothing to repaint or fix it with. So it's a bit of a shame about that, you know, not being so easy to improve the articulation on without doing some cutting, but never mind. He does look really good. Now I'm going to compare him to some more figures in a second. Just put this back on first, and there's that part. Now, I'm a big fan of these Fortnite figures, not because I've played the game, I never played the game, because there's such good variety, and normally they have very good articulation except for the biceps. God, that's going to be hard to put back on his head. Let's give a bit of padding and try again, otherwise I might have to heat up the head. Okay, so his head's on again. Let's push his hair back in. Okay. He does look so good. Let's get his feet sorted out. Let's have a look. The other thing is, you notice here, it looks like he's got one leg longer than the other, which is not great. You do get that sometimes with some figures. This way he's going to be leaning over. This way he's not. Looking at the legs and the hips, I can't see straight away what is causing that. Sometimes there's a bend in the joint behind there, and you can straighten it out and it fixes it. That's a bit better, but if you look, I've got him on his toes on this foot to make him stand up straight and not leaning over. Okay, see how he holds his weapon. Sorry, the hands need articulation. So his wrist turn, and he has this articulation here. So let's have a look. Wrist turn, yeah, articulation, yes, but not a lot, because again the sculpt gets in the way. Okay, better on his left hand there. So the hands seem to be mirror images, so it'd be very easy for him to hold stuff in one hand or the other. The hands got quite a bit of give to them, so you don't feel too scared of breaking the fingers by stretching them out to put something in place. And he holds that pretty damn good. But that lean over is really annoying me now. Okay, let's compare him to Longshot, who I reviewed previously, and I'll stick in the suggested videos. Longshot is a great figure, and obviously they scale very well because the same toy line. Looks good. Let's compare him to, I'll use one of those Shodo figures. This is a great one I've got here. Let me just put his hand back in. I forgot which his name, but I'll put it into just the videos up here. You can have a look. He's a great looking figure in a suit, and again he's 1/18 scale, probably a smaller size compared to these. I'm standing up. I'll put him in the middle. But again, he scales very well. They scale very well together. And then I will use another Shodo. I'll use a Horse Orphanok, which is really, really nice figure. Again, a little boxed kit figure. This is not the one that's there's two types. This is a box one where you have to assemble some parts, almost like a kit, but it's fully articulated. Again, you'll see them in sister videos. There's another type that just comes complete as a figure, which is bigger than this, which is great too. Again, they scale very, very well, as you would expect and you would hope, which is really, really nice. I like this figure a lot. I think there's such potential. I'm just annoyed at the articulation because I'm going to have to cut something off on the shoulders. But more annoying is this leg that is not quite straight. It's also a little bit loose. Head not worried about, so I can glue it back on anytime I want. But I'll be tempted to keep it off for the time being. We can see. So I think, let's have a look. I can't see what is making this smaller or shorter on one leg. It looks like that maybe is that better? Still leaning over. It looks like maybe the ankle joint is slightly off on one leg, but that shouldn't make a difference to height. Try this again. Great figure, just a shame about the articulation in the upper body, and I've got one leg slightly longer than the other. He's standing up okay now. It might be that this leg is coming across too much that way. So he has a little, I think it might be a bend in his leg too, in the lower leg, which I'll look to straighten out in a little while. Great figure, worth picking up. I just love this look. Him and Rust Lord look so good together in your post-apocalyptic Mad Max style world. Looks the part, really, really nice. This is All Smash Toy signing out, saying please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back soon with more All Smash Toy videos for you. Stay happy and keep collecting, okay? Bye-bye.